Obviously, very happy. We achieved something really good last year, finishing fourth in the Premier League, and now we're here playing Champions League. So, first game for all of us, and yeah, we're really excited to get going in this competition.
Was this what you expected when you joined the club, or hoped for, or dreamed of?
Yeah, listen, there's always been an ambitious plan before I signed, and that's why I bought into it, and that's why I came to Aston Villa. Obviously, maybe earlier than expected in the project and in what they set out in their plan, but listen, we've had some really good performances last year. Like I said, we achieved the fourth place in the Premier League, and now we're here, so yeah, we will try to make the most of it.
Let somebody have a go in a minute. But did Unai Emery specifically mention the Champions League when you signed at the start of last season?
Individually, he did, yeah, because that was one of his goals when he joined the club as well, and that's how he set it out to me as well before signing. And yeah, it was a real big goal for him to achieve, and which we did now. But now we want to carry on, and we don't only want to participate in this. We really want to make our mark in the competition.
I guess it's important but it's important to make a good start, isn't it? Because you've got some big games against Bayern and Juventus to come.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got some really big games either away or at home, and tomorrow is going to be the start of it. And obviously with this new format now, every game is really important with a point system. So like I said, we want to make the most of it, and hopefully we can get a win here, but it's going to be very difficult.
Do you understand the new format? Because it's taken a bit of working out for me.
I do, kind of. I do. Yeah, it's basically a bit of a competition where the more points you get, the bigger the results are, and hopefully being in the first 8, you qualify straight away from this sort of group stage. So yeah, we want to get the most points possible, but we know it's going to be very hard.
George?
Yuri, hello. I just wondered how important your manager is going to be this season in terms of the stuff he's won in Europe, and how important he will be for the team and what he can do to get you through to the next stage.
Very important. Obviously, he's changed a fair bit since he's been at the club, and for me personally, he's improved me a lot as a player, as a man, and I understand the game even better than before. And we've seen last year so many times where he's been important in his tactical tweaks that he's made during games, before games, and this season as well. So yeah, it's going to be massive for us.
I know the Champions League is great, but it does mean more games for players. I think Akanji at Man City has been critical in a number of matches. I just wondered how you feel personally as a player with the number of games you're playing at the minute.
Yeah, listen, we all know the schedule is going to be very busy. There are at least 2 more games in this new format. So we're going to have to manage our recovery times and hopefully pick up as few injuries as possible. But injuries are part of the game. They're going to happen anyway. But it's true that, yeah, the schedule is very busy.
Yuri, just on that, you're someone who plays regularly for your country as well as your club, so there are very little breaks. Does it ever worry you about your own, I guess, health and fitness later on? Just the amount you're asking of your body physically? Well,
football is a demanding sport anyway, so the amount of games that we play, we know there are more and more, there are more competitions. Football is getting tougher every year, many games, and yeah, it's taking its toll on the body, but like I said, we have to try and make the most of our recovery moments, and in between games try to recover as best as we can to take care of our bodies and hopefully to perform really good on the pitch. But it's true that sometimes it's very hard, but it's what we love to do anyway. So I like to be out there on the pitch and having a good pre-season behind me, and just playing games is good, I think.
You've played at the top level of European football in many seasons, not everyone in this squad has, if there was one thing you could identify about this competition that differs from any others that you'd pass on as a piece of advice, what would that be?
Listen, we've got some experience from Europe last year, and it's going to be even tougher this year, being in the biggest European competition, club competition. Then, yeah, we're going to have to do even better than what we did last year. And missing out on the final last year was a tough experience, but I think a good one for the group to understand what we have to do better this year, and hopefully we can learn from that.
Okay. Gabby?
Yuri, I wanted to ask you about every player wants to play every game, don't they? And especially Champions League, elite competition. How important is it that the players that are on the bench tomorrow understand that not to be disappointed, to understand that they've got a part to play in the game and through the rest of the tournament?
Yeah, like you say, everyone wants to play, and we've seen, especially last year, how many injuries we've had towards the end, and everyone had its part in our season in the end, and we know everyone's got to be ready. Everyone is, and everyone wants to play the games, but the manager is there to make the decisions, to pick the squad, to pick the starting 11, and we've seen the last couple of weeks as well that the substitutions have played their part in us winning games, so everyone's got to be focused.
Ben?
Oh, sorry. Have you got any concerns about playing on the plastic pitch, Yuri?
Well, I wouldn't say concerned, but we've all in our careers, youth careers, played on AstroTurf before. But it's true that when you get used to like Premier League pitches, good grass, it's different. So that's why we're training here actually, to getting used to the surface and not making it an excuse tomorrow.
Ben?
Yuri, have you felt that sense of significance in terms of being in the Champions League this game? Have you felt that around the place, I don't know, around the squad and maybe around town as well back home?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I'm in the streets just walking around and seeing Villa fans being very excited about the Champions League and very excited about our performances as a team, the achievements from last year, there's a big buzz around it. So obviously we feel that as players.
Can I just ask you about John Duran? I think the manager said he's matured. Have you noticed a shift in him? Obviously what he's doing on the pitch speaks for itself, but have you noticed a difference in him as a person a bit?
Well, inside the changing room, he's always been the same guy, really, always really funny and yeah, his own character, really. But it's true that on the pitch he's doing his talking at the moment, and you can see that he's been really focused on the pitch. He's working hard for himself, for the team, and on the training pitch as well, doing his bits like everyone asked. And yeah, he's doing really well for us at the moment.
Anyone else?
First of all, for me, Unai, the Villa fans love you and what you are doing for this club. I would like to personally thank you as an ex-player. The team is a joy to watch. And you have so much experience in European football. I want to know how you're feeling going into tomorrow night's game.
Good afternoon, and nice to see you, Gabi. And of course, congratulations for everything you did here in Aston Villa. Now is our moment. hopefully our moment as well. Yeah, we are excited, and I think it's a good moment for the club. After a long time playing again Champions League, tomorrow we are going to start. Hopefully we can keep it for a long time again. And it's really our challenge. And my own challenge is, after to get Europe, last year we got it playing in Conference League, is now in Champions League, try to keep it. And we know that how the difficulties is this way, because to play again in Champions League is more or less is through Premier League, and in Premier League they are more or less 7, 8 teams being favorite or contender to get the position on the table to get it. But we have to try to enjoy each match, each moment. And now we are starting this competition. We are, of course, very motivated. We can use our own experiences as the coaches, because we played in Europe in 3 competitions, in Conference League, in Europa League, and in the Champions League. And some players as well, they played. But the most important experiences for us is the experiences we had last year, here together. And we want to build, to create a new way together here with Aston Villa, with the player we are, with the player we are adding the first time playing in Europe last year or this year in Champions League. And the first message I can send then is I want to be competitive. I want to face each team, tomorrow Young Boys, after Bayern Munich, being competitive like we are in Premier League. And how the difficulties to compete in Premier League, being there in the top position last year, and the similar competitive we will have to do in this competition in Champions League, because more or less the best team in the world, they are in Champions League, of course, and in Premier League. And we know more or less how difficult is Europe. And last year we learned a lot about to play away, to play against another teams in other countries, maybe not relevant countries or leagues like Premier League, but how the difficulties. And tomorrow here in Switzerland, I played before against another teams here, and always it's very difficult. But even in Champions League, playing against Basilea during my career as a coach, and playing here against Young Boys 3 years ago with Villarreal as well. And this is the message. Thank you.
George, have you got anything first?
No, hello. I just wondered, what can Villa fans dream of in the Champions League this season? Because there's some great clubs have won it, but I just wondered, what do you want and what's possible with you and this team this season in this competition?
To compete and to face each match being competitive, and how far we can get, I don't know. But of course, I am not going to refuse any objective in this competition. At the beginning, of course, is to play tomorrow, try to start being comfortable on the pitch, try to start playing more or less, increasing our level. Even we started very well in Premier League, but I think we have a lot of work to do, and tomorrow is a good opportunity again to try to get it tactically, individually, and then be competitive, adapting of the opponent demands, and trying to impose our style, our idea, our game plan, our skill with the players. But the objective, we had to try to fix each match tomorrow.
Sorry, are you a fan of the new format, or do you prefer the old format in the Champions League, the new system, the way it's working this year?
I prefer this one, but of course I didn't play before in this one. But I think needed to change, and I think this one is going to be better, because when we played with another teams, I was missing something like now. Play more matches, try to play more matches, interest matches during the process. It's not like a knockout sometimes so quick. And we are going to play 8 matches. I think it's good. And then we are going to set every team in the same table. And I think it's more fair. And I think it's even more attractive for the supporters. Thank you.
Then on you go.
Unai, in terms of the pitch, do you have any concerns about the pitch, and how important was it for your team to train on it and acclimatise, get used to it?
No, we are going to adapt. And the first is we change a little bit our usually way when we are playing in Europe is to have our training session in Birmingham and then travel. But we decided to come here, to train here, because we want to know and to adapt for the synthetic pitch. But we are ready, and we are not going to use as an excuse, because I think we can play like we are with our personality in synthetic pitch.
Sorry to move the subject away from tomorrow's match a little bit, Unai, but could you say a few words about the untimely passing of Gary Shaw? Because obviously, it's come as a bitter blow on the eve of what a game he would have no doubt enjoyed.
Yes, my condolences for the family, for all the supporters, all the family in Aston Villa Club, and of course, memories, because we are remembering always. We have in our training ground the picture, the 1982, the Champions League, Cup of Europe, and he was one of the protagonists there. My condolences.
Is there a part of you tomorrow that you would like to dedicate, should you emerge victorious, that victory to him?
Yes, I think it works completely. And we can have another motivation. It's good.
Unai Emery, you said it before, you've already been here with Villarreal, also with Pau Torres. What are your memories of this game here?
Very difficult, very difficult. We compete very well. And we started winning 2-0 so quick. We started really, was the second match in groups. And we started winning 2-0, but at the end we won 2-4. But really was very difficult. And they are keeping some players, Camara, Elia, Lauper. And more or less analysis then, they are playing more or less similar. They are very organized team. They have very a lot of paces with the strikers, the wingers. They are very good in transition. They are very good physically as well. I will prepare the match more or less with the experiences we have here and how the difficult was, and we are going to remind the players that moment. Thank you.
Hello, Unai. You said in the programme before the game against Everton that you were worried about the number of matches that players are being forced to play now. There's extra matches in the Champions League this season. What do you think needs to be done to ensure that there aren't lots of injuries either now or in the future?
I don't know. It's not my work. I am trying to be intelligent, manage the players as better as possible. Of course, we are adding more players playing with the national team. When we arrived here, we were training in the breaks with 12 players. Now we are 5. And I think this is a good example how we increased our level with the player, with the club. And of course, it's better for this way, but it's more difficult because they are playing more matches, and sometimes they are high more risk to get injured. But I don't know how. Of course, everything is in my hands. Try to use the players, be intelligent, try to avoid sometimes risks in case someone is being in alert for something. But is one thing clear. They are playing a lot of matches. They are more and more adding a lot of more matches. But just in this competition, in Champions League, I think it's better. It's better for this competition. It is the best competition, I think, in the world after World Cup or after Euro Cup or something around the country's competition. But in the clubs, I think Champions League is the best, and we have to try to enjoy. It's the biggest award for every teams playing in their domestic league to get Champions League. When I was in Spain, when I was even in Moscow, I played the Champions League with Sparta Moscow, in Paris in French, here in England, and of course for the supporters, for the clubs, for the coaches, for the players, this competition is the most reconnaissance competition for everybody.
Hi, it's Leon Bailey fit, Unai, and are there any other fresh injuries from the weekend?
He is in the squad. We are going to try now, and hopefully he will feel good. And tomorrow we'll decide if he's playing minutes or in the starting 11. But it's good news.